10 years ago, I couldn't have imagined this new aspect to my work. I've made a commitment to do something new every time. But I never could have imagined the solar. I was terribly excited because it was revolutionary. It was revolutionary glass. I have been interested in every project to bring something new, to try some new glass technique. I'm right at the beginning of my design work. I have a lot of theoretical concepts. The work's going to be very technical on one side, which is collecting solar energy. The other side actually very organic and related to leaves, trees, poetry. And in between these very technical and very organic parts are LED lighting, which the students will program.
I think we have to do it best on a printout to look at it.
I fell in love with light and color at a very young age and decided that I wanted to create environments. I studied in the architectural glass program. Then I apprenticed with a master from the Royal College of Art. And then I lived in Jerusalem and studied Islamic techniques in glass. And bring on, look at the difference in this, right? The decision to engage in photovoltaic, it came at the studio. The engineer who had pioneered one of the ways to bring solar cells between two layers of glass came to the studio and asked if any of the artists would be interested to use this technology. I loved the idea of taking the language of renewable energy and bringing it together with my glass work. I was really interested because I saw it as a possibility to use the solar cell as a symbol. The point of the tower faces north. And if you line yourself up in position, there's a little place out in the courtyard you can stand and you will see the North Star. It's contemporary wayfinding. Lux nova means new light. When the sun is shining, its energy is being collected and then stored to illuminate the tower at night. The first layer is actually the solar layer, and it's collecting the energy. Another layer behind that are these 12 crosses in dichroic glass. Dichroic glass was originally made for NASA for their windshields. Even though it's transparent, it reflects all rays. The next layer is the Lourdes Prayer in Aramaic. It kind of is woven very much into the fabric of the artwork. And behind that is this kind of waterfall of light. And so all of these things kind of come together. What is really interesting for me is to take sustainability and make it incredibly creative and imaginative and beautiful. You can give people all kinds of statistics and facts, but it doesn't really change their heart. Makes it very interesting. If you put together collecting energy with an idea, and you put it together with light and color, you engage people's imagination, and they start to care about it. Then they start to kind of think about the more human part of this story, and that's that we need to live on the earth, and we do need to take care of it, and we need to take care of our energy needs. It's just enormously rewarding because you're really doing the things you believe in, and everything is different every time. That's a wonderful part of design work, is that for me, every new project is a new opportunity. Nothing ever gets repeated or ever feels stale. Everything is new. Beautiful. Europe offers for a glass artist 1,000 years of history that we don't have in North America. After the Second World War, the Germans totally took the lead. They turned their backs on nostalgia and romanticism, and they were very anxious to make kind of a fresh start. And so they did incredibly modern and progressive work. The studios that were already fairly large got larger, got great facilities, and were in a leading position, and have been for a good 50 years in world class. I like the idea that I'm part of language that's been in the world for 1,000 years. I'm adding my story to the existing one, to the history of stained glass. Germany has always done it differently. They have had large workshops which had a number of craftspeople, and they worked with outside artists, or they think of themselves as being the orchestra for the artist, and the artist is the maestro or the conductor. Stained glass has always been made by a team of people. Glazers, cutters, designers, people who installed. It's been teamwork, even at the very beginning, 12th century. As we were creating the samples, we're really looking for the spirit of the work. It's a constantly evolving and always creative process. We will have dozens of different processes and perhaps half a dozen different technicians. Steps involve cutting the patterns and hand cutting the antique glass. This antique glass is then laminated to our base glass. And the paint is basically very, very finely ground metal oxide, along with an oil or a water base. Those metal oxides become a kind of permanent layer on the base glass. The initial process is always a fairly internal one. As I am looking at the building itself, the kind of light that's coming through the windows, the shape of the windows, I really let it speak to me. I'm listening to the light and listening to the space, letting it inform me what it needs.
Okay, on this one.
Maybe we don't worry about the green in
Good.
this one, okay?
Yeah, I think in the moment it looks very natural.
Yeah.
And if it's too green,
I see what you mean by these lines of light here. It's just
so you can, so you get these lines. That you can see the violet and so.
Yep.
Merkst, es wird, ist okay. Nur, dass man sieht, dass es farbiger wird, wenn es mehr Licht kriegt.
The idea to put together art and energy came out of working in Germany. Couldn't have happened anywhere else. They've made incredible advances in renewable and green energy. In Germany, you can't turn around without seeing solar on somebody's roof or seeing wind farms. They don't have oil, and they don't have natural gas. If it's used a great deal, all things become more affordable. I mean, here in Canada, we're subsidizing oil. We could choose to subsidize renewable energy. I think it's a better long-term investment. Top of the world. Here, the energy from every little line here is being caught and brought over to the electrical conduit. When you're up close, what you see is the real beauty of the cell itself and its crystalline structure. And as you move from different angles, it becomes kind of a cold blue and silver. And then here it looks warm green. And the combination of the crystalline structure and these lovely feathery little silver lines of the wiring and the splatter of the paint. This is something that you can only really see up close, is the texture of the paintwork itself. I couldn't have made these solar panels here in Canada. We have not engaged yet with renewable energy in a very strong way. And if we have a couple of things that are beautiful and high profile, more will come. And then hopefully people's minds and hearts will be changed. They'll be more interested to use it. And then it means that we will be able to do it here. It is a screen which will illuminate the entryway for the Life Sciences building. And the theme uses ginkgo leaves as the kind of predominant image. They survived Hiroshima, and they're studying them for climate change because they survived the last ice age. So because they're used for climate change, we thought we would put it together with this idea of solar energy. How it will all come together is still something that will happen on site. I'm very excited to see it. There's a sandwich, essentially, of 3 different panels. The painted surface that we're seeing here is a digital print along with hand painting. And then in the middle is a sheet of LEDs. And on the far side is solar energy collectors. And so they're all sandwiched within this frame. It was a real challenge because it had to withstand the incredible cold and heat and winds. So being an exterior piece, it really added a lot of challenges for us. You know, it's interesting. Some of the people I've spoken to point out their language to me. They say, oh, it's Hindi. I know that language. It's in Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, and French. And then in the English one here, there should be one more line from Goethe's poem. One of the ways it looks nicest is in the Japanese. And the Japanese also love ginkgo trees. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Stained glass is normally really dark holes in the opening of a building, and here they are, they're colored and silvery and celestial and visible to the exterior. They're made for the exterior, which means that they're made for the public and for the people who pass by as much as they are made for the believers. Technically, tons of big challenges because every single window size and shape is different, and that meant all of the usual work that was done in photovoltaics had to be done by hand and hand soldered. There's 1,113 solar cells. The cathedral project really has a tremendous amount of energy that it's collecting. It really makes sense that the energy goes to the grid, that they actually sell the energy. And in a sense, that gives them free energy. In my mind, I create what the space is going to be like to be in. And then I think really about the spirituality of the people. And from there, I start to imagine what the themes will be. They're Christian themes, but I also wanted to tie it into the prairie. I wanted to tie it into prairie light and prairie culture. And so I thought about the themes in terms of the mysticism of the sky. These windows are proclamations, you know, they're places for story and message, not for decoration. One of the themes that was really important for me was to develop universal themes about creation, regeneration, life and death. I think it's important for the future that we bring as much universality to our sacred spaces as possible. I love these windows for the fact that they are about the future. And then nobody else in the world has done this yet. I love the fact that it's happening here in Canada.